I had no idea about the no regulation thing.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
There's an assumption that every Western, advanced, whatever label you want to put on our civilizations, communities, would have an element of structure and regulation, and that would involve things like testing. So is there anything else in Australia that's like that then? I mean,
the only thing we've got is the Pet Food Manufacturers Association, which unfortunately, Pet Food Manufacturing, PFIAA. I'm getting confused with PFMA, which is you guys.
Right.
So it's a voluntary association. You don't even need to be part of it. You don't need to follow any regulations. You don't need to follow anything if you're not a member. And if you're a member, it's just voluntary. And if you're a voluntary member, it just means that you follow a standard that basically just says you label what's on the label, what's in the food. It's not strict, and people certainly don't get in trouble if they break it because it's voluntary. So
wow. So there's no real incentive, is there, at the moment for people to do it? No.
So
unless they can get away with charging more.
We could set up a company selling fresh kangaroo meat and basically go out into the outback and pull in all the roadkill that's been killed every night by the road trains and just mince it all up, and it doesn't matter whether it's been on the road for 1 day or 10 days, and put it on the market as homegrown Australian fresh kangaroo.
Exactly. And I'll tell you a horrible story about that, which happened very recently in my state.
Yeah.
We had 21 dogs that died because they were being fed what the pet owners thought was diced kangaroo or beef.
Right.
And what it actually was horse meat that had been transported from Northern Territory all the way down to Victoria, slaughtered in Victoria, and then given as pet meat. But people were labelling it as beef or kangaroo. Now, the problem is that horse meat from NT is unfortunately generally not fit for consumption because they eat a specific type of plant that is highly toxic to dogs. But you're not going to know that because it doesn't necessarily affect the horses. The horses can eat it and generally are okay. So what happened was all these dogs started having acute liver failure and died because they thought they were eating raw beef and or kangaroo, but they were eating diced horse.
Wow.
There's so many wrong elements in that, isn't there?
Yeah.
That whole journey for those poor animals from the Northern Territories all the way down to the south, which is a hell of a journey in the first place. Why are we transferring live animals?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, my word.
Crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. And they've only just figured that out. And that has been about 3 months that it's taken for them to figure out how these dogs are getting sick and dying. And they've said that, unfortunately, they're probably not going to lay any charges because only in Northern Territory is it illegal to slaughter horses and that may have put it in pet food because of that reason, because in the past there has been situations where this has happened. But obviously in Victoria, we don't have that plant. Therefore, it doesn't matter if we have horse meat in pet meat because it's come from a knackery, so it's okay. But there still comes the point that why have they not labelled it? Why are they transporting these animals? Because they shouldn't be. But again, these people are probably not going to be held to account to it because what regulation do we have to hold them to account to?
That's appalling.
It really is, isn't it? It shows us the value of regulations.
Exactly.
Quite often we get annoyed about regulations stifling us, don't we? And pushing up costs. But actually there's a reason that we have regulatory bodies and regulation. God, that's awful.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and then all we've got is a voluntary reporting system. So vets can put in a report if they suspect that something might be related to food. And then the Australian Veterinary Association can further explore it. But again, they have no power to recall things. They can only, give a little nudge to the company that, hey, you should probably recall this food. Whereas in America, with the FDA has power to say, you need to recall your food now because this is causing a problem. Whereas in Australia, it's just like suggested because, again, there's nothing you can hold them to. So it's crazy. Crazy bad.
It is ridiculous, isn't it?
That's appalling. Wow.
Yeah.
Keep up the fight, Jess.